Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Skift Travel Podcast. I'm Seth Borko, the head of research and your co-host for the show. Now, we have a very special episode for you. We're going to really zoom in and focus in on AI and artificial intelligence and what it means for travel. Why I like this topic is because there's a lot of generic AI content, podcasts, articles, everything out there. It's generic in the sense that it's written for the broadest possible audience. But you, if you are a listener, you work in the travel industry. There's not a lot of content out there about how AI is specifically going to transform travel and how travel companies, leading large advanced travel companies, are developing and deploying AI tools within their organizations today, live, as it exists today. Now, I had the opportunity to talk to two AI leaders live on stage at our Skift Data and AI Summit, and we're going to play you a little bit of an excerpt from that on-stage panel conversation. I had the pleasure of being joined by Marilyn Markham, the VP of AI and Automation Strategy at American Express Global Business Travel, as well as Rodrigo Acuna Agost, who is Amadeus's head of research and leads Amadeus's AI Center of Excellence. These are two travel industry experts who are deep in the trenches working on and deploying AI as we speak. If you have any interest, not at the high level conversations, not in the generic conversations, not in the theoretical conversations, but if you are interested in how practically today AI is being deployed in the travel industry, well, this is the conversation for you. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, hit that thumbs up. I don't know what it looks like specifically on your podcast platform, but if you are enjoying this podcast, if you are a longtime listener of this podcast, please give us some positive feedback. It helps the algorithm identify this show, suggest it to more people so that we can spread the word. Thanks for joining into this episode, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have an awesome session today. I'll remind everyone in the audience that we are taking audience Q&A. So we've got Rodrigo from Amadeus, Marilyn from Amex GBT. They're really sharp folks here, so ask them some questions. Marilyn, you were here last year. You were on a panel with me last year.
I was.
And you agreed to come back?
I know. I'm crazy like that.
Well, thanks for coming back, Rodrigo.
Now I'm scared. Why are you asking that?
It's gonna be good. So what I want to do with this panel, we're talking about corporate travel, agents, algorithms, but also what I really want to do is talk a little bit about maybe the context of rubber meets the road. You guys are both really like in it. Like you know about a lot what's happening. I had a few thoughts, but we were talking backstage, and you told me that both of you were really excited about agentic AI. This is, like we said, the buzzword of the conference. So let's just start with it. I mean, Marilyn, I'll start with you. Agentic AI, you said it's the thing you're most excited about. Is that right?
That's right. We started dabbling. When I came last year, I told everyone that AI talks a good talk, but it doesn't actually get its hands dirty. And that is my biggest frustration is, if it's supposed to change the world, it's supposed to do more than just talk. And we are at that stage in time when it's actually doing things through the agents. And for those who, I don't know how much people are up to date on this, agentic AI, I think you had the best definition, but my definition is it's as if you gave a toolbox to someone who talks a lot, and now they're like, ooh, I can do things. And it tells them what it can do on what systems, and it goes out there and actually affects the rest of the world. So I'm excited to actually see it change things. The thing that I'm curious about is how much the travel actors are going to start developing agents and MCPs, well, the protocols that allow their systems to be available for AI to interact with them. Because right now, when you look at the libraries, most of them are very techy, and there's very little in terms of travel agents. What you see is you have, of course, the websites, because it's easy to interact with the website, but you don't have deeply integrated servers.
So there's a lot to dig into there. Rodrigo, what is your definition of agentic
Oh, my
AI?
definition. Okay, so if we ask 10 people the definition of agentic AI, you have 20 answers.
Yeah.
So that's the question. No, but in any case, so I think the
Two or
definition.
three. Give us one or two.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have some level of autonomy.
Okay.
This agent will reach a mission, so they have a goal and interact with other actors. That could be also other agents. So that's amazing. So when you have these three ingredients, you are enabling a lot of new use cases, and we are making this pie bigger, as you say. So that's.
What were the three? It was autonomy. What were the three use cases again?
Autonomy. You have interaction with an environment that could be other agent, and then is to do actions to reach a goal. Yeah. So you delegate a mission, and you will get the answers. Okay, so that's what is new compared to the prediction or to the generation of content.
And so, I mean, let's just keep digging into this topic. I'm excited by it. I mean, what is the time to market here? Like, are we going to see AI agents? I mean, I guess there are some now, but like, when will that dream of real agentic, like when do you think it'll be here?
I don't have a timeline. I don't know. I find that right now we're still experimenting. We don't fully trust AI agents yet. We don't trust their resilience. And in our industry, because things become quite fluid quite quickly, what the agents would need to do is to have real-time data, which they don't generally do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when time to market is. Right now, we have a few use cases we're trying in-house. And again, I find that this whole venture in Gen AI has been very much a try it on ourselves first. Let us drink our own champagne. And if it works, then we will expose it to customers.
Got it. And what do you think, Rodrigo?
Yes, so we already have some agents in production, actually, because they are a small agent. So it's part of a complete AI system, like a chatbot for Citric Easy AI Assistant, for example. When I come to New York, I use that tool because Amadeus is also a customer of our Amadeus solution. So just talking to this machine, okay, I want to go to New York, this is the date, and we had this conversation of how I took the flight. But inside that, we have agent, and one is specialized, for example, to get the flight search. Yeah. So it's an agent, you take the action, look for search, for flight, and give you the answer. Then we have another agent for hotels, for example, for public transportation and so on. That is already in production.
And it worked. You didn't like fly into like way out on Long Island or something, right?
I'm here today. I'm looking at the travel policies, the per diem limitation, and so on. But then I'm really excited of the next step is the voice-to-voice interaction.
Okay. Yeah.
So and that's why I'm excited, because I think it's going to be even more democratized. In the sense that, today you still need to have some tech savvy to have writing skills, writing in English, but voice to voice. And we are also experimenting in my research team to have any kind of conversation in any language. We switch from Spanish to French to English, and you get the response in natural language. So imagine all people, different nationalities, all will have access to AI. Thanks to this new multimodal, and I think this is the next step.
All right, I want to ask you more about that. I'm going to put a pin in it for a second. I want to come back to the rubber meets the road conversation. I'm going to ask you both. I'm going to go to you though, Marilyn. Last year, again, like you said, what you said last year, like we're still working on internal. We're drinking our own champagne, as you say. Where and how is AI being used today in Amex GBT in very concrete ways? And I want you to be as specific as possible.
Okay, I'll give 2 examples. First example is to help our travel agents. Our travel agents, a lot of them are on shared desks. They serve many customers who all have their own travel policies, and they all have their own idiosyncrasies. It's a tall ask for any human to remember all of that. But we've given them an AI policy assistant with which they can converse. So that allows them for every interaction in the background, as soon as they identify the traveler, the AI is primed with the travel policy, and they do not need to go into the team chat to say, do you know? And they do not need to go search for the file folder where the policy is to read it to give an answer. It has given them a great confidence boost, and it allows us to be more compliant to what our clients want. So it's made a bit of superhuman, on that front. So that's one way that is deployed globally today to all our travel agents. Externally facing, we have a FAQ bot, because frequently asked questions, who wants to keep answering them? Nobody. So that's deployed on our chat channel, and we've primed the chat bot to answer those questions that we see recurring. We found that it gives you a complete and accurate answer about 60% of the time, because the rest of the time people just ask things out of left field. And it's really hard to cover 100%. But with that 60%, we're able to deflect like 30% of the queries. So it's a weird place for us as technologists, because usually if you're at 60%, you don't even clear UAT, you don't go to production. But we are in production. But what we do is we have a graceful way to fall back onto a human and keep the conversation going in a productive way.
Got it. And I mean, I guess that's almost like they're going like, I want to speak to a human when you're on the phone. You're like, please talk to me. But the fallback. But if it gets the answer, then that's pretty incredible.
Then you get an answer immediately. You don't wait on anybody.
Rodrigo, how is Amadeus also, like concrete deployments of AI at Amadeus today?
Okay, so we created the AI office last year.
Yeah.
And in particular, the AI Center of Excellence, the one I'm leading.
Oh, yeah.
And that helped, yes, that helped us to, yeah, exactly. So, and that was very good because with that tool, we start to collect in a more systematic way all the AI use cases in the company. Okay, it's not so easy for a company like Amadeus that's operating in many countries. And we have hundreds of use cases in our catalog. And I would say like almost 2 tiers are internal usage for all the roles in the company, marketing, development, and so on. And 1 tier is how we put AI in our products. And in that side, I will to highlight 3 examples. First one is how we use AI to generate content, website in particular. Okay, so we have customer airlines that wants to create destination page in order to get traffic, okay, in different language and different location close to the airport, so that people can find these pages when they are Google or looking for keywords. And our customers are very happy. They increase the booking and the conversion rate a lot. So that is in production for one year or more. Then we have what we call the talk to my data. So Amadeus product that are B2B. So user have this copilot when they can talk to the data. For example, say, what is my best 10 customer, okay, in natural language. And you don't need to know SQL, you don't need to know the fields of the database and so on. And it's very, very good to onboard newcomers, for example.
Yeah.
And then all this conversational AI, that the one I just mentioned, Citric Easy, when I used last week to come to this conference, for example. 3 examples, yeah.
Love it.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Kopit, Editor-in-Chief at Skift, and I've got to be honest with you, I am just blown away by how fast our industry is changing. AI is transforming how people book, platforms are flipping business models and consumer behavior. It is more unpredictable than ever. And that's why I am so excited for this year's Skift Global Forum happening September 16th through 18th in New York City. This year's theme jumps into the future, Travel 2030, people, platforms, and new paths forward. You'll hear from leaders at Booking Holdings, IHG, AirAsia, plus dozens more shaping the future of travel. And this year, we've got more than just stage talks. We've got expert-guided roundtables and new networking formats designed to spark real conversation so you can do real business. Expect it to be more interactive, more personal, and more valuable than ever. Join me and the rest of the industry at Skift Global Forum. Use the code PODCASTS for $800 off the full price at live.skift.com. Hope to see you there.
So I think what's interesting about this panel right here is that this is corporate travel. These are both B2B businesses. Skift loves B2B travel. Everyone thinks that travel industry is glossy magazines, consumer travel. It's really, there's a lot of partnerships and ecosystem. I'm curious, is corporate travel, is B2B travel a better place to be doing AI than consumer travel? What do you think about that?
I had not prepped for this one.
This how you do. I want the audience to know this is live. This is real.
Yeah, no, I think I can start if you want.
Go ahead, please start.
Oh, okay. So you are going to get married very soon.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you?
So is Marilyn. Congrats,
Okay,
Marilyn.
so bon courage, we say in French. No, I mean congratulations. And when you get married, you are going to have a travel manager at home. And in our home is my wife. Okay, and what is the goal of them? So in order to see if AI is a good solution, we need to understand the need. And the need for travel manager, they told us four things. First one, they want we spend less time in the tool. Because, for example, I'm doing research. I need to spend my time in research, not looking for flight and so on. They want less phone calls to the team management team. So they want people to be autonomous. So exactly as my wife, when I asked, where are my shoes? In the same place than last week. Okay, that's the same. A lot of people in companies call the travel management to ask simple questions. So we are putting AI to simplify that, self-service with conversation, and to get the solution. The other one is to optimize travel cost for the company. So AI is giving insight how to adapt the travel policies. This is something that we are working on, and to give all the tools to make sure that everyone in the company is respecting the travel policies as well. So that's these four mains, and the same that the travel manager will have at home is trying to reach.
So what I'm sort of hearing you say is that you've got a stricter boss in the corporate travel world, and therefore you need more of those tools to make sure you stay within policy.
Within policy and adapt to policies. So we can see inside, okay, for this destination, we can change the per diem or whatever the rules are. And this is as well to create new value. It's not just to reduce the cost, but to create new value, to give more empowerment to the travelers as well.
What do you think, Marilyn?
I was thinking the same about the strictness. I think that business travel restricts us in using the full power of AI, unless we decide to do more leisure. And the reason for that is, in the leisure world, I find that the preparation of travel is much more collaborative. So I think about a year ago, Expedia had a chatbot that was experimental. You add it to your friend group, and we all chat together about where we want to go. But the bot does the legwork of finding your options and providing them to the group. No emotion when everyone hates the idea, just finds the next one. Great. In business travel, it's usually just me, and I'm traveling alone, and I don't really want to go, but I have to go, so just get me there.
Yeah.
And so already the interaction is degraded. Then we have a lot of rules and constraints from the policies and expectations from our suppliers and our clients. AI is not as explainable as just a rules engine. And so applying those rules is not, going to Gen AI for that is not going to be your best bet. You might want to stay in machine learning or just rules engine domain. When things go astray and you need to fix the journey, that's one of the things. If one day I could ask the AI genies, please do something for me, I would like a repair button on broken itineraries for business travel. But we find that those environments are too volatile and chaotic for Gen AI to actually be able to fix things for us today. You can use agents, and I would love to see how we progress on that, to fix pieces of the journey, to recreate something, because we all have a very clear goal. And we have like discrete actions that need to happen, but it's the linking of them all that is hard. So I wouldn't say business travel is the best place to use Gen AI. I would say that there's opportunity, but leisure opens up the door much more, even just the creativity of dreaming about a trip and then envisioning it.
Okay, very cool. I like both of those answers. Thank you for doing them on the spot. I want to go back to the voice and agentic conversation. I mean, I've seen this demo of these two like phones talking to each other and booking travel. Is that real? I mean, not is it real? I know it's real, but like, when will we get that at scale? Is that really going to happen at scale, Rodrigo? What do you think? Okay, so we are working on that already as a research project. Yeah. And we have very interesting, and we are very enthusiastic with the potential. But then our mission is to be responsible. Okay, so in terms of accuracy, hallucination, you cannot give wrong information. So I think it's going to be like a step by step. At the beginning, it's more to answer question. Okay, where you don't take any risk, then the people is to self-service, like do small changes. But the way to fully complete any kind of tasks that require, for example, payment and so on, is going to take a while, I think. So we are not still yet, but the potential is there. It's like now we reach like a threshold. Mm-hmm. When the voice-to-voice is with so speed in many language, with some empathetic behavior,
that really is opening a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. And Marilyn, for you, do you think the travel industry is there from a data perspective? I know we've talked about these MCPs, which is not a Marvel Cinematic something. It's like an API for AI, right?
Correct.
Is the data there from an industry perspective? Are we ready?
I would say search data is there because that's how we power all the engines around the world. The content is available. I think there is one step further that we need to go with the data is if you want to break the tyranny of the search box, we need to have much more exhaustive descriptions of what we're offering in hotels, in airlines, in airports, in a car and experiences. Because then the Gen AI can ingest these long-form descriptions and be able to interpret them when I express what I want.
Yeah.
Because I usually don't tell you what car category I want. I will tell you that I'm coming with a lot of equipment and I need a lot of space. But what car category gives you a lot of space? Yeah. If you have that data, you can then, the AI can figure out that, oh, then I'm going to recommend you this. I think that there's also data that hasn't been exploited. We talk all the time about personalization. And personalization in the world sounds really creepy because it means that you're in my business.
Me, yeah.
But in business travel, we have a captive audience. You're not the only person who travels for this project. I have your data and I have the data of all your colleagues who go back and forth. If we could extract and use that data, you would find that we can leap forward in personalization and get something that's pertinent, even if it's your first time traveling to the New York office.
Yeah.
Others have done it. We know how it works. We can recommend. So I think there's data. It's not fully exploited yet.
Yeah, because it's not like my business trip to the New York office is that unique from the million other business trips. I like to think I'm special, but I'm not that special.
Yes, your leisure part may be unique.
Yes.
But we don't currently operate a lot in that space. But yeah.
So I see an audience question here. How expensive is this stuff going to be? That's a good question. I mean, AI is not free. We're building all these AI agents in. Are we going to pay for those? What's the cost there?
Okay. Guys, for me?
It's for anyone, but what do you start, Rodrigo? You seem to have some
Okay,
cost.
so we have two kind of big cost driver. The one, if you are building your models, so like OpenAI and so on, this cost is growing. But the cost of usage to use this model is decreasing. In 18 months, I think it's decreased, the same family of model, GPT-4, 240 times less. Okay, so the trend is decreasing this cost per token. Okay, that is the cost. How much costs a conversation like voice to voice and phone? We estimate around $1 per conversation.
And how does that compare to an API poll? I don't have context for that. Is $1 a lot or a little?
Is this what it is? It's an absolute number. Okay. Compared to a human conversation in the US, maybe it's much cheaper.
It's cheap.
Okay, but our vision is that we still need human. People like to have be here of human. We know about companies that deploy AI agent for call, and people prefer to wait 5 minutes in order to have the human because they want to express feeling and so on. So it's going to be, again, like the travel manager at home. We talk to my wife because we want to be here. It's not about my shoes, where are my shoes? It's because are the good shoes to come, to have this complex conversation. Is when we need humans. So but the cost, okay, is high or not, it depends on the use case.
What do you think, Marilyn? More expensive, less expensive?
I'm going to shy away a little bit from the question by taking the leadership approach, which is that the cost per transaction is decreasing, and it's actually quite inexpensive. But the investment to transform the systems still needs an ROI. So because of that, it doesn't automatically decrease the price of service because of all it takes to actually get to that point and maintain it. And all of that is done by people. So it's kind of displacing where the cost actually is for servicing our customers. So that's definitely, the jury is out on that one. All we're seeing right now is that all businesses are investing. We have not seen that return come back yet, which is why we're in that trough of disillusionment. And so price-wise, we are not in a position to pronounce ourselves yet.
Sure. I want to talk about responsible AI a little bit. I feel like sometimes some people, especially within organizations, I'm going to start with you, Marilyn, on this one. Especially within organizations, people start to roll their eyes a little bit. Do you think that your agents at Amex GBT are like, how do you bring them along for the AI journey that they don't feel like displaced?
So it's a lot of conversation. What we found is that when we first bring Gen AI on board, the rumble in the room is, there goes my job. It's immediate. And you're like, I don't want you to feel like that, because actually the current state of technology is not there. So we start with really honest conversation, education. We have an AI 101 course that's rolled out to absolutely everybody in the company that gives you the lingo, explains to you how it works, what it can do, what it cannot do, its limitations, but also our vision as business leaders. I always say, because you can doesn't mean you should. And it's still in our hands as leaders to decide whether we're replacing people or adding power to what they do and their efficiency. It takes a lot of town halls, joining team meetings to bring people along. And it takes sometimes just giving them a taste of the drug. And getting them a little addicted and going like, oh, this is amazing. It helps me in my work.
Are you finding they're getting the aha moment, though?
They are. It really takes forcing them to try it.
Yeah.
And then then the use we see is anecdotal. So about, I'm going to say 78% of the people we pulled after we rolled out AI agents, well, not AI agents, but AI platforms said, yeah, it helps me save time. And when you ask the same people, does it help you save more than an hour? Then only 10% say yes. So it means you're not using it fully, it's still fully anecdotal, and we have to help you imagine how you work differently now that you have these tools. And that's how you get people on board. It's a lot of human labor.
Yeah. And Rodrigo, I know you also think a lot about AI ethics, responsible AI. How do you bake, ethics, transparency, and accountability into the tools that you're building?
Yeah, actually, we defined our AI ethical principle of Amadeus before ChatGPT. And that was like, was not well understood by management at that time, in the sense that, why we are talking about AI ethics? Imagine the world before ChatGPT. So they say, AI, what is it?
Can you imagine a world before ChatGPT?
Yes, exactly. So then, we define this, and we are very, very strong in that part, in the sense that, for example, the security team and the AI Act team, so in Europe, there is a new regulation, AI Act, that we take very seriously to implement that. There are more people working on that than in the research, for example. That to give you the importance for Amadeus on that topic. So transparency, fairness, the bias, for example, is very important for us. Transparency, accountability, and sustainability as well. So and that we define the core principle are AI ethics by design. We spot every single use case of AI in the company with this catalog in the AI Center of Excellence. We define suggestion to them if we see there are one of these 6 principles that are at risk, and give practical tips to them. And sustainability is one of them. For example, we know that it takes some CO2 emissions, water, or whatever. I say, not use that to generate jokes. It's only if it makes sense. But then education as well. We are deploying AI literacy in terms of what we can do, what we cannot do, what is the blacklist of tools, what is the white list, and so on. So that's a lot of effort.
People are into the education, by the way. We've got a question, Marilyn. Someone wants your AI 101 course. I don't know if that's available.
It's a compilation of LinkedIn courses, so I will leave it there for you to go find them.
Go and join Amex GBT. Become an agent. You'll get it. Well, I'm glad we could end this conversation on this topic of ethics, humans, bringing people along, even as we get excited about the future of voice, agentic, and all these different tools. So, Marilyn, Rodrigo, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks to you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I think these guests were great because they have the right mix of day-to-day practical experience and big-picture strategic thinking, and they're able to blend those two in a really practical and realistic way. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please don't hesitate to email us at podcast@skift.com. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll be back with more Skift Travel Podcast shortly.
Thank you for listening to the Skift Travel Podcast. Wherever you're listening, please make sure to subscribe. If you like what you're hearing, rate us 5 stars or leave us a positive review. It really helps get the word out about us, our podcast, and make sure that we can still continue to bring it to you free of charge every week.
If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. That way you'll know every time we have a new episode.